Well, how y'all doing? Welcome back to another Whiskey Review with me, the Whiskey Novice. Thank you for joining me for review number 196, the fourth and final part of a series in which I was looking at some bourbons and ryes. I was back in the United States, and it is to the United States we go again once more to Texas, Waco, Texas, with Balcones. Balcones, the, what do they call this one? Texas Rye 100 proof. And I think this is a full rye mash bill as well. So 100 proof, balled at 50% ABV then. Also, and it says clearly here on the back of the label, I can see it, never chill filtered or coloured. Brilliant, fantastic. I mean, do you know, this is Texas Rye. Texas. And they are going to that effort. They're making a very, very good point about it. We don't add chill filter. We don't add colour. Look at the colour of that. Just look at it. Fantastic. So Texas Rye, 100 proof. Shall we? Sweet, sharp, almost winey start. Now don't let that put you off. It's not that sharp, but I'm just getting this sort of winier, almost weirdly Calvados sort of note off the start of it. It's weird. There's also a mustiness about it, a slight damp wood thing. It's rich, loads of dark fruit notes, or even dark stone fruit, plum. I was getting fresh plum and prunes. And there's a syrupy feel to the nose, a syrupy thing on the nose, like that syrupy nose feel, or even it's definitely a syrupy thing, or there's some rich molasses. Candied pineapple. And candied pineapple. There's loads going on in this. There's bright notes, there's dark notes, round notes, there's sharp notes. It's fantastic. It really is. Rich. Once again, there's a slight sharpness, sweet and sour arrival. Bearing in mind, this is 50% ABV. Tread carefully. It's 50%, but it does coat very well. There's a softness there as well. I get loads of, but it takes it you're almost into the finish, but I get loads of coffee and walnut cake in this. I get that slight bitterness of the walnut. I get that slight bitterness of the coffee, but there's just a richness and roundness about it once again. Yeah. The wininess comes back into the palate, but it sort of plays along with that syrupy edge, or even moreover, it's like a maple syrup, because there's that weird, funky, rich, sweet, yet sharp, yet sour bitterness about it. It's good. It's good in the nose, it's good in the palate. Finish is long, and it's that rye pepperiness that I would expect of a rye that waits its time, waits till now, and then it shows itself. I'm actually going to add a little drop of water to this. I know I haven't been, but I'm here because I did so during my tasting notes, and it did change it. I think given the fact, excuse me, I think given the fact that it's 50% ABV, I think the fact that there's been no chill filtration, it's all very natural. This copes quite well with water. And as I said, I did, in my tasting notes, I added water and it did change it. Some bits for the better, some bits not necessarily adding, but it certainly didn't take away from it. Oh, we're long into that finish now. And there's a lovely dark chocolate mintiness right at the back of the palate. It's lovely. Yeah, that touch of water brings old leather. It brings new leather. And also this real creamy peach melba. It's really good. It's really, I think it's really interesting. That drop of water rounds off some of the edges. Doesn't change the flavour an awful lot, so all the good stuff's still there. Maybe some of that wininess coming back into the palate. But I really like this. I really like this. Anybody who's wondering, this is from March 21. This is a bottling from March 21. I'm making a point of that because recently, within the last 6 months, I think, anyway, late last year, Diageo bought Balcones. So certainly this was pre-Diageo. Will it change? Well, I don't think they will. I think the team that's there, the team that's behind Diageo or behind Balcones will remain behind Balcones. They were good at what they were doing. Why would Diageo shift them on? That wouldn't make sense at all. So I can't see a lot changing there. Maybe prices will change. Speaking of price, £40 to £45 for this. I think it's a fantastic price. Non-chill filtered, no colour added, 50%. It's what we're looking for. Does it matter where it came from? It certainly doesn't matter to me. If the whiskey's good, whatever the whiskey is, but if that's at £40 to £45, and with all those details going behind it, if you wish to spread yourself about a bit, I know Scotch whiskey is seems to be very much one of the mainstays of the whiskey community. Certainly this side of the pond, shall we say. When I'm talking about the pond, I'm talking about that big pond between the United States and us. Scotch whiskey seems to be more the thing, but if you're looking to sort of venture about a bit, find yourself around some other whiskies and different styles of whiskies and different fields. I know a lot of people don't enjoy bourbon. I can understand that because of that sweetness or whatever. But this just plays itself into a totally different category. It does bloody well at it. Would I recommend it? Of course I would. Would I replace it? Yes, I would do that too. Let's just leave it there, move on. Yeah, it's fantastic. I'm convinced it's bloody fantastic. I highly recommend it. So, what would I recommend as an alternative? Well, it's not another rye. And it's not because I've run out of rye. Maybe a little bit because I've run out of rye to suggest to you. I just enjoyed this so much that within 5 minutes, probably less than that, of opening this bottle and pouring a dram, which is a couple of months back now, within those few moments, I went straight online and ordered this. Balcones bourbon, Balcones pot still bourbon, straight bourbon. And I recommend, and why am I recommending this to you? It's not a rye. Well, I'm recommending it to you for exactly the same reason as I did it. If you enjoyed, if you're going to go down this, if you've went down this path, you've bought the Balcones Texas 100 proof rye and you've enjoyed it, venture about, try their bourbon or their baby blue or their single malt or anything. I have the utmost faith in Balcones. Once again, says clearly on the back of the label, never chill filtered or coloured. This one 46% ABV. You know, this is bottling how we like it. This is integrity bottling. I know it's rye, I know it's bourbon, I know it's not necessarily the whiskies that we want to try, that we are comfortable with, but sometimes I'm recommending to you to step out of your comfort zone and try something a little different. This here is absolute quality, and I know that this, as you can see, I've had a dip at it, is also absolute quality. So, if you're feeling like you want to move outside of the box, I'm going to recommend to you, try anything from Balcones. They are good at what they do. Very good at what they do. So there you go. That's that. That's the end of that series. We'll move on and move off to something different the next time round. It's been interesting for me to be back trying bourbons and ryes. It's funny, it's warm here still, and it's in this temperature, it's this time of year when I tend to move into the bourbon and rye field of things. If I'm ever going to drink bourbons and ryes, it'll be during the hot months. So there, just a little insight for you. I'll leave it at that and say thank you very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you very, very much to my patrons. Should any of you wish to join that group, the details are in the video description below, and I will leave a little link up in here just for another little video just about my patronage, if you're interested. Till the next time, my friends, look after yourselves. Here's to your good health. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.